In 1920, the Klan had said any niggers who attempted to vote, brutal harm would come to them. Well, first of all, my name is Glenn Barbour. I have written, I guess about 16 or 17 original stage plays that I have put on at my church, Mount Pleasant Missionary Baptist Church. And one of those plays that we did was the story of July Perry. Some people refer to it as the Ocoee riot, but I want to be very clear with you. In my research, it was the Ocoee Massacre, and there's a big difference. One of the things that I learned in my research about July Perry was, he was a well-off Negro. I'm just going to be very frank. Back then they called them Negroes. And he owned a bunch of orange groves. So he had a lot of money, and he had a few other friends. They would be considered today as bourgeois, okay? And even when people showed up to vote, they were told that they did not, or they had not paid their poll taxes. Even when they had receipts, they were turned away. And for those who had not paid their poll taxes, July Perry paid them for them so that they would be able to vote. But there was fear that was signaled to all of them, a warning. If you try to vote, brutal harm will come to you. July Perry, he voted. And he was at home one evening with his family when he heard this: July Perry, we want to talk to you, boy. You come out here right now. And it was alarming to his family. It was his wife, his two children, a young girl and a young son, and his mother. And so while they were trying to figure out what to do, they heard it again. July Perry, you better get out here right now, boy, or we're going to burn your house down and everybody in it. Now you get out here right now, nigger. And he got his family out the back door in a cornfield, to hide out in the cornfield, so that the Klan would not see them. And July Perry grabbed his rifle and he went outside, and a gunfight ensued. They took July Perry to a jail in downtown Orlando. A mob somehow, they say, broke into the jail, grabbed July, and they hung him on a tree near Lake Eola. Exactly the way that we put it in the play was exactly the way that the story was told to us by July Perry's granddaughter. She said her mother never really talked, just never talked about it, because it was so much fear that was still in her all through the years. Okay, but that one night, shortly before she passed away, she talked about it, and she told them about what happened that night. This massacre occurred in 1920s, 100 years. Of course, things have changed. But to me, and I think to a lot of others, Ocoee is a tale of two cities. There are portions of, or people living in Ocoee today that know nothing about the Ocoee Massacre. But then there are those who were a part of that culture back then, should I say. There were over 500 Negroes living in the city of Ocoee. The next day there were none. Okay? Those who weren't chased out were killed. The Negroes back then were chased off their land. Their land was taken away from them. A lot of that land in Ocoee right now is stolen land. But I think that's what they need to do. I think they need to understand the significance of what that massacre did, and the land that was taken away from the Negroes back then. Even right now, while we're getting ready for this November 3rd election, there's voter suppression. But voter suppression, I believe, will go away. If you listen to former President Barack Obama, I mean, encouraging people to vote, his wife. So there's a litany that are encouraging people to vote. If you have to stand online 3 or 4 hours, do it, but come prepared to do it. We have people who are doing so much to defeat voter suppression and to make sure that Americans, that African Americans and people of color have the right to vote and are not denied their right to vote in these contemporary times.